this video is a continuation of the previous video. So in this video, I'm going to show you a very interesting print function. It's considered an advanced print function. So let's get started. Print, and we're going to say our float value is, and as you probably remember, we have one float value here, f, and one integer value, which is I. So instead of putting here, for example, if I have different values, x, y, z, f, x, f, I, k, and so on, and I would like to be flexible. I don't want to embed the value here. Like I don't want to say our float value is 1.4. I don't want to say that because I want to allow the flexibility of changing the value over here. So for example, I want to change the value right now to 1.3 and I want to return it accordingly. So how do we do that? We're going to just add a percentage s and then say, and our integer value is, for example, again, we do the s. So which s is which? This is something that we need to tell Python which one is which. So we're going to add the percentage and say the first one is the float. The float is f, and the second one is the integer, which is I. So return the value of f and return the value of I. There's a problem. What is the problem? Find out what the problem of the code is. First of all, take a look. Is not defined. How come? We just learned this. Maybe I made a mistake by typing it in capital. So please be aware of that. So now it is executed very nicely. However, look, it's 1.4. I just changed that to 1.3. It shouldn't be changed to 1.3. What is the problem? Think about it. Here it's 1.3. We have not run this cell. Now that we ran this cell, this will not change automatically real time. You have to run this cell too, and now it is 1.3. Okay, so be aware with the names of the variables. Be aware of the idea that if you make any changes here, 1.3, you have to run the cell, and then also there is no real-time changes here. You have to run this cell again so that you will get the most updated value. Now there are other types of variables. We so far talked about the integer, we talked about the float, the integer, and the string. There's also the true-false kind of types. If you do this, it's a true or false, or this we call them dummy variables, or we call them binary variables, true, false, 1, 0, right? 1, 0 is binary, but true, false, we call them boolean, right? So there's the boolean type. So let's take a look at the boolean type. Boolean is true, right? So I would like, first of all, let me not try to comment for now, and let me just show you something. B is equal to, I want to show you the difference between B is equal to true. So over here, B is equal to true. Do you see true has a change to blue? So now here's B. There is no mistake whatsoever. So let's return the type here. So what is the type of B? And this should be Boolean. So it is Boolean. Do you see that? So what if C is or C create a variable C and assign it to false and return the type. You can pause the video, and then if you done something like C is equal to, for example, false, and then you said okay, type, and you said C, then you won't get Boolean. Why is that so? Because you added Y. As you can see here, B is equal to true. This is in blue. C is equal to false here. It's in red. If you typed it as C equals to false, false in capital, of course, not in small, and then you said type C, then as you can see, this will be Boolean. Do you see the difference here? So a Boolean type of variable should be assigned to a Boolean value, either true or either false. A Boolean value always starts with a capital letter. And also, it is different than false as a string or true as a string because it is not supposed to be surrounded or enclosed in between quotes. So if you enclose it in between quotes is a string. So let's now write our notes here. A Boolean variable is created by assigning it to a Boolean value, true or false, and sorry, just needed to, and also notice the difference between B equals true and B equals true. Okay, so this is quite interesting. All right, so let's take a look at, for example, some other examples that I created for you. I can see what I got for you here. I got, okay, it's something quite interesting. I am going to give you an exercise. So the first exercise is the following. Assign multiple fruits, let's say, fruits to the variables x, y, and z. So please create variables x, y, and z and assign different kinds of fruits. Then print the variables. Pause my video and do it on your own and then come back to me. All right, I'm going to say x equals to orange. I'm going to say y is equal to banana. And I'm going to say z is equal to a cherry. Even though there's no mistakes here whatsoever, I love organization, so I'm not gonna let this be like that. So this is more readable. And then I'm gonna say print x, print y, print z, and let's see what happens. If you've done that, good for you. There's another way that we can, in fact, create these or solve this problem. So here's another way. I could just in one line declare all the variables. X, y, and z are equal to, let me just use single because I use single, orange, banana, and cherry. Okay, execute, they have no problem. Let's print them. You can print them as you've done here earlier in each one at a line, or you just do print x, y, z. If you print x, y, z, and there's a comma between them, then you have added space. If you do print x plus y plus z, you see the difference here. There is no added space. Even if you add here the space, it will not be added. So how do you do that? You can add the space by adding a plus. Hey, where's my plus? What's happening? Here. So here plus, you can add some space. then as you can see, it will be added. Or you can add the space after banana. Then you will see here an extra space was added, and here also space was added. But let's leave it as is so that you can see the difference. Like here you added some space, so this is a space, but over here there's no space. So even if you add so many spaces here, it will still not add a space unless you add it as a string. So this is concatenated. So this is concatenation. So this is with you do it with concatenation, which basically means adding up the strings together as one string, okay, by using the plus sign. Okay. What's next? Let's see. Let's do something quite interesting, which is using the plus sign now, not for concatenation. Here, writing concatenations of strings. What happens if we use the plus sign for numerics? So let's create and declare variables x, y, and assign the values 5 and 10 to them respectively. So declare variable x equals to 5, declare variable y to 10, and come back to me. So x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 10. And now what I want you to do is to print x comma y, and also print x plus y, and see the difference. You see the difference? Print x plus y, because x and y are numerics, it will actually execute the summation. So it will perform the summation. So here, when the variables are integer or float, the plus sign will perform summation. Okay, so that is, I believe, quite interesting. Okay, now let me talk about declaring a function that is not a built-in function. Create your own function in the next video. So in the next video, we're going to talk about how do you create your own and define your own function. And we're going to also talk about global variables and local variables. And global and local variables, they are global or local relative to the certain function that you're defining. All right? And then I will see you in the next video.